All right, welcome back from that short break. After that exciting exclusive discussion with Olugbenga Peters, I mean, tell us about the tech side. Well, let's go to the Nigerian stock market right now. The fourth quarter have started since last week, Wednesday, Thursday. The fourth quarter of the Nigerian economy started. The moment we enter 1st of October, the rest of the month in the year 2025, pardon me, is the fourth quarter of the economy. And the Nigerian stock market is also booming. But let's have Omordion so that he can tell us what is really happening and the booming, the bullish for Nigerian stock market. A very good day to have you, Mr. Omordion.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Good afternoon.
All right, good afternoon. But let's get straight to I read one of your articles this morning. Can you share that part? Because that article is so exciting, so attractive. It's like, let us bring our money and buy shares. Mr. Omordion, take us through.
That's the place to be.
Exactly. Take us through.
In an environment where we have different investment window and what we call a circular flow of fund as a function of economic events and directive of the monetary policy and also the fiscal authority. Recently I've seen that our monetary policy have left rate unchanged for almost 3 times this year. Now this is the 4th time they are meeting. Then they have a cut of 50 basis points. Apart from that, we have seen that the economic data, especially the macroeconomic data that are coming, have been positive, driving that yes, at the end of the tunnel, we'll see light in terms of our economy if the trend we are seeing in terms of policy is sustained. And being that, I tell you that investors are looking at where there's liquidity, where there is fund, and where there is fund is where you see, it's a support, demand and supply. Where there is fund, it will chase goods or services in that window that is fund. Now that because of the rate cut we have just seen in the fixed income market, most of the design investors are looking at, let us reposition our portfolio, let's expose ourselves more in the equity market where there is high return, and also keep less of what is happening in the fixed income market. Because naturally, anywhere in the world, when there's a rate cut, we expect to see that the fixed income market be at the negative side, while the equity market will be at the positive side. Because the economy will become robust. Companies that are listed in you have access to cheaper funds, and you not put better numbers that price feed on, but price feed on earnings. And when the company is running on a less high cost of fund, you're about to see that the bottom line of that company become more attractive, that also will support their price and at the end of the day support their dividend payout. Then that is what we are seeing not only in Nigeria, it's a global thing. Look at the stock market across the globe. All of them are in green recently because of all the rate cut move we are seeing the big central banks have done. Even though that kept their rates unchanged, but still the ones that cut rates are also trigger movement. That means they want to drive their economy, especially now that the tariff issue is gradually settling. I think if the economy is looking inward, to drive their economic world to become a bigger one, to also engage their people.
Interesting. I love the global perspective that you gave to this discussion, particularly drawing reference from U.S. Federal Reserve, Bank of England, the Sweden Bank, the European Union, Central Bank, and the rest of them. Now, let's take it back home. On the Nigerian scene now, particularly with where we are right now, we are in the fourth quarter of the economy. What are you seeing going forward?
Anywhere in the world, seasonality comes with a lot of opportunity. And last quarter of the year is the most active quarter in anywhere in the world because many people or many companies have been sleeping because the demand for last quarter is high. Why? Because of festivity, and also this is the period that people consume more. I'll tell you that at this time now you can see that churches will be buying, companies will be buying things to make sure that they give to their staff to celebrate Christmas. That means demand for goods and services at this last quarter is high compared to other quarters. And on that note, we expect that companies' performance will improve. And for that, also, people that are sleeping before now, there are some that I know that they've been sleeping since January. But what they thought because of they want to impress, they want to meet up. We'll be hustling with all the time, but we don't go to meet up. That society will always come. And also, money of the big boys or companies do occur also reshuffling for end of the year. Because that's the time they want to position for the new year. Also, you see where they are coming from the year. Also, listed companies on different floors of the exchange across the globe, if they open the year lower, they want to close the year higher so that it will be part of achievement for their shareholders. For example, a company that opened the year with 5 naira, who would like to close the year with 3 naira? It's a minus for the management and the board of that company. On that note, because the company opened at 5 naira, they would like to close at 10 naira so that the shareholders or better know that here's a created word for them from their performance. That's why you see, towards the end of the year, so will be addressing both for companies both for the portfolio managers, operators in the market to close the year because they want to know that their books look better at the end of the year. But like I said earlier, this last quarter, because of demand of lot of things, even flight will increase, road transportation will increase, demand for stable food will increase. This are going to reflect on companies that are into this kind of businesses at the end of the day. For me, it's a time for design investor to take advantage of the price that are not pulled back. That's why they are now rebounding because I'll tell you for the straight 6 days now, market have been in the green, especially since after the rate cut, the market have digested that rate cut. But I believe that the more we see more economic data that are positive and economic events that also able to impact the market and the local economy and also the global economy, I believe that this is a time for any investor to be the right stock at the right time.
Exactly. Interesting. I'll really take that from you. This is the right time for any investor to take the challenge and take what is available at this point in time. But let's go a little bit of a review. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter. What really happened? I recall that you always made mention of the mixed feeling, mixed sentiments for the first and second quarter and the third as well. Just take us through to that regard so that our viewers can really understand the shift we are about to experience in the fourth quarter.
No, actually, in Nigeria market, those that are following us in Investdata will tell you that each month in Nigeria market has its own different characteristics for each month. Also in the same quarter, also in the same regard. But I'll tell you that in Nigeria, when you say sell in May, come back in October, Nigeria market are defined that mantra or that tip for principle for matured market. In Nigeria, our market start going up from the month of October. Because at the month of September, I don't like that just ended. Is for me it defied another because September has been a kind of a dicey market in our market. Most times September always close in red because there's no number at that period. That means market is not waiting for at that period. Especially the month of September, the month of June. These are the months that yes, market close more in red. Why? Because at that time there's nothing going to impact the market. But from the month of October. October is the period where first quarter results are expected to hit the third quarter results to hit the market. While in January, expect to see full year results hitting the market. That means within the first quarter of every year in Nigeria, we always have a mixed market. Because in the month of January, you see an up market. In February, you see a mixed market. While some of the expectations for March accounts have been factored in January and February, we would expect more to see when results are hitting the market also, in March. That is why most time you see that March in first quarter in Nigeria is always mixed, either it close positive or close. But I'll tell you, during the months, January for the past 6 years in Nigeria have been in green. That says that in month of January is a good time to buy stock because you need that time where people are pushing forward for the new year or just to enter. And now that we're expecting the month of October, we expect that this month, because we're expecting to see the third quarter result that ended September 30th, that will also start hitting the market. The month of October will close positive. But because the major player, which is the smart money, institutional investor, they don't jump into the market when they see results. Then they will not start analyzing the result. That by November, they're coming back to take action of results they have seen in October. But why generally in December, so-called the seasonality, where you see Santa Claus rally that comes for people to make Christmas and all those stuff. You see, this last quarter of now, there's a lot of activity that will support the market to close positive. That is why I said the most active quarter, the market will close green. You can see for last quarter, most time, both I check our market, our last quarter always close in green. For almost within the most of the 7 years, you see that more of the close was up for the last quarter. Then for first quarter, I said it's a mixed one. But for the second quarter of the year, because in month of April, where most of the corporate action will be coming in April, where they are paying dividend, people also some people will be the ones who are ready to invest. Then so that will now move the market toward in the month of May, that I already defined sell in May in Nigeria. For the month of June, it's already most like in a quiet month. Most time, but this year, see that both May, June, July, there was kind of a different trend that we have not seen in our market for the past years. That means this year, that shift, accompanied by the changing dynamics of the economic events have changed that. I was seeing that in the month of April, May, June, July, August, see an up market in September. Almost straight 5 months. For me, it's a bull market for Nigeria, and that trend going to continue in the last quarter. That means if also we'll see another rate cut in November, so that this trend of positive will continue. Because if you see another rate cut, more fund will live in the physical market to equity space, and also the real sector, which is the Nigerian economy, will see cheaper funds to do business. That will now expand our GDP which at the end of the day, companies that operate in Nigeria will also put a better number that will impact their price at the end of the day. That means people that are afraid that prices have gone up, it is not done on the company to know what kind of dividend they will pay to kind of measure up the new price. Because before they were paying lower dividend, the price are still low. Now we're seeing a new price generally across all the sector in the market. It is not done on the board of these companies and their management to kind of their game in the reward of shareholder so that it will not be commented to the new price we are seeing. If that happens, I'll tell that 2026 being pre-election year will be another boom again. But know that pre-election year towards the end of the year, especially when we know that February is the major period for election in 2027, I want to see also 2026 will be another boom market. But towards 2026 ending and early 2027, we might start seeing what is shown because of what election activities.
Interesting. I really love the perspective you have given to it, because I know on this show we will definitely talk about the market, the economy, and the election year come 2026, on the market report show ADP. But, a bit of it that you are giving should give us confidence on how the market will really perform in that period. But talking about the market again, when the CBN governor spoke about the MPR, MPC rate cut, it made mention of one fantastic news that everybody was expecting. 14 banks have met their recapitalization. Ambrose, is this not a good news? And for guys like you on the market, how are you guys feeling?
For me, granted that we're going to see a strong market, especially these banks are going to have what we call a holding structure. I mean, they have other business, other companies around them, and also sitting on 500 billion, 200 billion, so that the economy will benefit from it. But people are saying that this might affect bank performance. For me, I'm not in that category because if before banks are having what we call not performing because of high interest rate, if rates continue to come down, more people now can now service their debt, and at the same time, more people can now go and borrow. The banks will make money because bank creates money through what? Through lending. And if they are lending to the public, that also drive economic expansion, because if we are trying to achieve a $1 trillion economy, we need a robust and a healthy and a strong financial institution like the banks to drive that towards that growth. And for me, the bank banks are set for it. And CBN also, I think they are doing a good job to know that these banks are well regulated, and we are seeing numbers coming that are positive. So it shows that yes, our banks are healthy with the sitting on the flat 500 billion, 200 billion. I believe that going forward, these banks will lend to the real sector, not just to lend to politicians. That's the only thing.
Exactly, interesting. But I will not let you go right now until I ask you this question. Over the weekend, I had the opportunity to discuss around the stock market, and one key question that keep ringing among us discussing that issue is the oil and gas sector stock. Ambrose, what is really happening to oil and gas stock?
Actually, I think you are correct. If you look at the sectoral index in Nigeria, this is that is on negative right now, about negative 4 point something is the oil and gas sector. And I tell you that no market or no sector remain up. Before now, I can see that it's the oil sector that have been leading the index. But now I can see that the food and beverage have overtaken them. Even the market generally have taken them. But I believe that there's still opportunity in that sector, especially now that we're seeing that you have local supply. For those that are into marketing of oil and gas, they might still also make money. But the people that are going to hit much is those that are into crude oil business. But the only solution is that if they can increase their output, with the low price, they can still make money. Because if you have more output and the price is relatively low, you can still make money. But when the prices are high, you make more money. With little output, you can be making money. But now that you see that the price of crude oil has remained relatively below, $70 recently, as low as almost 62, 64. I believe that what Nigeria company like Wando, rather separate between it's hard to increase their capacity so that they can roll out more crude oil in Nigeria and sell to make money. Because if not that, they might run into a problem. Because if you are producing little and prices are low, you make money. But now you have good volume and price is low, can still make money and you could also reward your shareholder. For me, it's an opportunity for those that are here to move, like Wasel Wando saying that I want to do right issue. Then it's that time people that are also don't know Wando that I want to participate in their rights and start taking position so that I have rights to buy. Also, also that Wando too by this time also know that the market perception and their program governance is part of what's also putting them where they are. I know that it has gone as low as almost 2 naira before the banning, touched as high as 80, 98 before pulling back to this 44, 45. Yeah, there's still potential for Wando, but I believe that they need to also still talk in terms of their money, corporate governance, and also the way they administer their results when it has when do. But for Arade, I see a lot of opportunity in Arade. Arade is one of the companies that pay into dividend. Arade total and also Seplat. And that's why I can say that Seplat today is about 10% up. Rather, it's also have been moving from around 400 to almost 650. Not see that yes, Total has remained stable for a long time because of what Total have just low share in issue. That's why I can't see a lot of volume there to change price in Total. But I believe that this one that are into crude oil, if they can expand their production and export more crude, they're going to make money, especially Arade, Ovando, and what and Seplat.
Exactly. Interesting. You know, one aspect that you pinpoint to is Arade. But I will take you on in our subsequent engagement because I see Arade coming up in this fourth quarter, you know, massively. But I'll leave that to our next discussion when we're talking about Nigerian stock market. But Ambrose, thank you so much for coming on the show today with your laudable, intelligent analysis on Nigerian stock market.
Thanks for having me, sir.
All right. So enjoy the rest of your day over there in Lagos.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
All right. I've been speaking with Ambrose Omordion, who happens to be a player, an industrial stakeholder in Nigerian stock market, taking us through the projection for fourth quarter Nigerian stock market. As he said, it's going to be bullish, it's going to be boom, and it's going to be profit taking and gain recovery. So if you are ready to put your money anywhere, the Nigerian stock market is the next point for you. This is the size of our show today, talking about Nigerian stock market, market report on ADBN television. My name is Adefolayan Olamide. Until we come your way with another exciting edition of the show, I want to say thank you for staying tuned to ADBN. See you around soon. God bless you.